part. Okay, this is the CPU, the brain of the total system, like your computer system. It processes all the data it receives and sends out the verified output. So the CPU will have our signal modules connected to the both sides. Okay, signal modules means it could be our digital input or let's say analog input, or it could be digital output or analog output. Okay, maybe one digital input, one digital output, maybe multiple digital input output or analog input output like. So what happens when we take any kind of input? If you take a simple input system, okay, you have a switch here and you have to run a motor here. This is a simple task. So this is a switch one, motor is one. Simple logic. So what we do? So in this system here, so this is our input, this is our input, and this is our output. Okay. So when we connect our input to the input side here, and we connect the output to the output side. Okay. What happens here? We give 24 volt supply to this side, and we give 0 volt supply to this side. Now what will happen? Initially, in this terminal we are getting 0, and when we switch on, we will get here 24. So this 0 and 24 will be transferred to the CPU in the form of 0s or 1s. In the form of 0s and 1s. Similarly, we have a PC here. In the PC we have already written the program for that particular logic, and we have already downloaded to the CPU. So when it receives, let's say this is your 0.0 terminal, this is your 0.0 for output, I0.0 and Q0.0. So when we receive the input in the I0.0, so this terminal changes from 0 to 1. Then it processes the program and it gives output to Q0.0. So this terminal, now we will get 24 volt. Earlier we used to get the 0 volt. Now it will get 24 volt because the CPU will send signal in the form of 0 and 1. When it receives a 1 here, we will get a 24 volt supply. Now this side is already 0 volt connected. So whenever it gets the 24 volt, this output will be on. So this is how the PLC works. Or any controller you say, or you know, microcontroller or anything. So those things work in this process. This is the basic architecture of a controller. We give certain inputs. Those input status change from 0 to 1, 0 volt to 24 volt. That comes to the CPU. CPU process. Okay, if this particular input is on, then which output need to be on. So that output is on accordingly. And from there, you connect to most of the time you connect the relay as the output. You do not connect the motor directly. This is for example purpose. We connect a relay, then relay has its N1 NC contacts. Let's say give 230 volt single phase supply here. You connect a motor here and the motor like that. So this is belongs to this relay. So this is how we connect the input output to the PLCs. Now let's understand what are the digital inputs and analog inputs, or simply you can differentiate between digital or analog signals. Digital and analog signals. Okay. So in digital signal, we get a signals like this. So the state is 0. This is let's say 24. So either you get 0 or you get 1 in case of the digital. When you talk about the analog signals, we get a range. Okay, let's say this is 0 to 10 volt.